We live in a world where we're surrounded by trees. They add so much to our lives, whether it's shading us on a hot day or bringing a sense of nature to an urban environment. So we wanted to make sure you know how to properly maintain and care for your trees so they continue bringing us beauty for generations to come. Trees really do add so much to our everyday life, whether a vast quantity, side by side, blowing in the wind in a beautiful forest preserve, or alongside of our homes, gardens, and parkways. So we are here with Sean Kingzett, an arborist, and we're in such a beautiful forest preserve area, Sean. Trees add so much to our lives.
They certainly do. I mean, they just give us that feeling of home, of being out in a place that we love and enjoy, and we just want to bring those things back to our homes with us. Trees just add so much to our landscapes, to making our homes feel comfortable and someplace that we want to be at.
And that's how I feel. Every time I come walking through the forest preserve or a park district, I want to bring some of these trees home with me. And how do I do that?
Well, the first thing is to choose the right tree, because you only have one chance. You can't move a tree. You know, you can, but it's hard to move trees. Once they're there, they need to be happy. They need to be in a spot that's going to work for them. And you don't want trouble with that tree later on. You don't want it to get too big for the space. You don't want it to be growing into wires or something. So choosing a tree that's going to work for that space is vitally important. So you got to do your homework before you put it in the ground.
One of the most important duties of caring for a tree you plant or cultivate is mulching, fertilizing, and pruning.
There's little things that you can do to help that tree out to be a great tree in the future. Proper pruning, little things of dead branches, limbs that are rubbing across each other and growing in a direction you don't want them to, or too low. You know, maybe you have to mow under it, or it's growing low over patio. So proper pruning, proper mulching. You can help make that soil healthier by putting wood chips down or some sort of organic material that's going to decompose. They'll make that soil healthier, and you'll have a tree that's going to be healthy for a long time.
Despite the fact that you might be maintaining and cultivating your trees the proper way, there are some things you can't control, like a sick or diseased tree. But there are ways to monitor that. So we're here with horticulturalist Richard Henschel. And Richard, how do we recognize if a tree is sick or damaged or not its normal self?
We're looking for leaf color. Should be a good glossy deep green usually, and then they're a lighter green or even chlorotic. We know something's not getting up to the foliage. The amount of annual growth, if the tag says it's supposed to grow 6-8 inches and it's only growing 2 and it's been doing that for 2 or 3 years, not a good sign. It's slow. Insects, diseases favor weakened trees more so than a healthy tree, so you might have spotches, blotches, you might have holes from the insects feeding.
Now, how about as a homeowner, is there anything that I could do to prevent a tree from becoming sick? Is it through proper maintenance?
Absolutely. First time out is make sure it's planted properly. You want to think about planting a tree to last its lifetime and not ours. So 100 years, 120 years, 150 years. So that's proper planting, making sure the roots are at the right level in the soil. Another big one is just siting. Is it the right plant for the right place?
Trees can also flourish with other items surrounding them, like plants or flowers.
Usually when we see a new tree planted, it's mulched, and that's great because it conserves moisture, keeps the weeds away, keeps the soil cooler, all those conditions that the tree likes. And so when the tree is young, it has strong function. When the tree is older, it's more of an aesthetic. Perennial plants like the iris, like hostas, like coral bells, these are all good plants for around the base of a tree. Anything but grass right up to the tree is good.
Trees really do bring a small piece of nature directly to our neighborhoods and communities.
We moved to this block because of all the trees on this block, and the one in front of our house is my absolute favorite. Makes me feel like I'm not really living in the city.
So always try to enjoy the beauty of the trees in your neighborhood. And if you can, try to plant some around your home. They're great for the environment and for your lifestyle. In this case, it's okay to pine after your trees. For more information, visit our website, HouseSmartsTV.com.